Well, welcome everybody. We really appreciate all of you taking the time to join the BU Urban's 4th Annual Symposium. Next slide, please. In case you don't know me, my name is Pam Templer and I'm Director of BU Urban, as well as a professor in the Department of Biology at Boston University and Director of the Biogeoscience Program. Next slide, please. I'm going to first share our agenda for today's symposium. In the first hour, you'll hear about our program goals and some of the highlights over the last year. You'll then hear from 3 of our internship hosts and 2 students who've engaged in solution-oriented internships, which we call partnerships in Urban. After that, you'll hear from 4 students who've been awarded Urban Research Awards for interdisciplinary research and 2 students who took our Spring Applied Research Methods course, who are going to share their interdisciplinary research ideas that emerged from the course. We'll then take a short break and return for the second hour to hear lightning talks from more Urban trainees, as well as some of our faculty and partners. Next slide, please. Before I start, please know that we've enabled live transcription. If you would like to view subtitles during today's event, you can click the CC or closed caption button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and you can resize the subtitles in your meeting settings or move them around the screen as you see fit. Great, next slide, please. I am going to start very briefly with our program highlights. Next slide, please. In case you're not familiar with how our program started, we received a 5-year, $3 million grant from the National Science Foundation's Research Traineeship, or NRT program in 2017 to start our interdisciplinary program. We have 3 cohorts of students, next slide, with the 4th starting this fall. Next slide, please. So how is BU Urban unique? We take advantage of what we think is the best that BU has to offer, bridging expertise and enthusiasm from across the university, infused with a mandate from NSF to transform graduate education to be more solutions-oriented and interdisciplinary, and of course, to prepare an increasingly diverse STEM workforce for diverse STEM career paths, Next slide, please. Specifically, our mission is to prepare graduate students to tackle urban environmental challenges using interdisciplinary approaches and a co-production approach centered on our partnerships with governments, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector. Next. Through courses, we train PhD students in biogeoscience, environmental health, and statistics, and we support them in developing projects on the themes of climate, air, and water, which you'll hear lots more about later today. Next. Through workshops, we provide trainees with the skills needed to both communicate and collaborate with partners to tackle urban environmental challenges, and you'll hear about some of those workshops later as well. Next slide, please. We are now going to share with you just 2 minutes from a 6-minute clip we made with BU Productions that summarizes our program, and we hope you enjoy it.
Now, more than half of the world's population currently lives in cities. And we know that cities face many environmental challenges that need to be solved. We know that most of the fossil fuel combustion that leads to climate change is happening in cities. We know that many people in cities are suffering from extreme heat waves, perhaps poor water or air quality. And it's really important that we find ways to solve these environmental problems so that we have an equitable and just society that's beneficial to everybody. BU Urban is a National Science Foundation supported graduate program at Boston University that brings graduate students together from the departments of biology, earth and environment, math and statistics, and environmental health. They work together to gain traditional skills in their respective doctoral programs and also work together and with partner organizations to learn how to tackle urban environmental challenges. They do this through traditional coursework, workshops, as well as internships with our partner organizations in government, non-governmental organizations, as well as the private sector.
The BU Urban program, I think, brings a lot of new opportunities that PhD students don't usually have, especially in professional development skills and the internship. I myself am not interested in pursuing an academic career, and really gaining those professional development skills and those experiences outside of BU are critical for building your resume and standing out as an applicant after graduation.
Most graduate programs are quite disciplinary, meaning they provide training to graduate students that give them an expertise in a particular topic. Our hope in this program is that they both develop that expertise, but that they also learn how to apply it. And that's where we really believe strongly that interdisciplinary training is important, so that the students learn how to work with people in different fields so that they can actually solve environmental problems.
Wonderful. Thank you, Evan. I hope you enjoyed our program overview and getting to meet one of our trainees, Jessica Wright. So before I hand off to the other speakers and we get into more details about the program, I'd like to just say a few words to all of you. First, to our trainees, I really want to express how much we value you and how much we're rooting for you. We know it's been a really tough year with the pandemic, and we recognize that. And we appreciate all of your hard work despite these unprecedented and difficult times. To our partners who've served as internship hosts, members of our external advisory board, or simply people we've had the great opportunity to interact with, we appreciate how nimble, committed, and effective all of you have been. Of course, to the faculty and staff, thanks for all of your care and attention in mentoring our students and building our program. And last but certainly not least, thanks to the upper administration at BU. We appreciate all of your support for our cross-campus interdisciplinary program, especially leaders such as Daniel Kleiman, Mike Sorensen, Gloria Waters, Krista Williams, and others, many of whom are here today. Thank you for joining us. The pandemic has created many challenges, but also given us novel strategies to bridge the campuses and others around the greater Boston area, the US, and the globe. As you know, we're at an interesting history. Post-pandemic will be an opportunity to improve and innovate across many aspects of our work. And we believe that the urban program is well poised for even bigger impact working with all of you. So thank you. Now I'd like to invite our two associate directors to provide some highlights from this past year, and then we get to hear from our students and partners. So Lucy, I'll hand it to you.
Great, thank you, Pam. Hello, my name is Lucy Hutira, and I'm a professor in the Department of Earth and Environment. I also direct the BU Campus Climate Lab and am an associate director for the BU Urban program. So I have a fun job today. I get to share with you how our program and the community are making strides on a number of different fronts. I'll get to give thanks and celebration, and hopefully I'll offer some inspiration for the work that's ahead. Next slide. So it makes me proud to be able to share with all of you what we've done in the last 3 years. We've created 3 new courses here at BU since the program began, and we've hosted close to a dozen workshops just this year alone. Our most recent workshop was last week on science communication for youth audiences in collaboration with the BU Wheelock College of Education and Human Development, which brought in 5 middle and high school teachers into conversation with our graduate students to discuss opportunities and challenges around bringing research and researchers into the classroom. We currently have 25 trainees in the program. 2 have graduated so far. 14 internships have been completed. 1 is in progress and 2 are starting this summer. We've distributed 23 research, travel, and broadening participation awards. And our trainees have given 38 presentations, published 4 papers, some of which were in direct collaboration with our partners and asked for by our partners. And we've crafted 41 public talks and articles that we know of, but I bet there are more. Next slide. As mentioned in the video, we help place our students in internships from host organizations. Here are organizations our trainees have worked with so far, many of which are represented in the Zoom room today. So thank you so much for taking the time to come today. We're particularly excited about the mix of local and global organizations, from NGOs to city governments to startups and consulting firms. For internships, we provide the students with professional development training to enable them to bring their skills, both social and technical, bring their enthusiasm and their attention to help solve the challenges that we're confronting today, so that both the students and the partners can tackle these together successfully. Next slide. To date, we've awarded close to $25,000 in research and travel awards to trainees to support some really truly interdisciplinary research projects spanning urban biogeosciences and environmental health. At the top are some examples of organizations trainees have received research awards to work with, using these funds to purchase things like air quality sensors or translate surveys from English to Spanish, for example. Below, you can also see the inspiring array of local, international, and virtual conferences where our trainees have used funds to present their work, all in the name of growing our understanding of urban environmental challenges. You'll hear from a few of our award winners later today about their specific interdisciplinary research projects. With that, I'm going to pass the baton to my colleague, John Levy, to discuss our efforts to prepare a diverse STEM workforce for diverse career paths.
Great, thank you, Lucy. So for those I haven't met before, I'm John Levy. I'm professor and chair of the Department of Environmental Health here at BU School of Public Health, and along with Lucy, one of the associate directors at the BU Urban Program. I'm going to focus on just a few highlights from this year that I think demonstrate some of the ways we've really tried to prepare our graduate students to enter the workforce. Next slide. So first, on the topic of broadening participation in STEM, we've taken a few key efforts. Last fall, we really actively recruited graduate students in a number of settings, including the SACNAS meeting, or the Society for Advancement of Chicanos, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Science. We also interfaced with the Black Doctoral Network and worked hard through our program, as well as in individual schools and departments, to strengthen ties with minority serving institutions, both HBCUs and Hispanic serving institutions. We launched a really exciting and novel interdisciplinary recruitment cluster to really lower some of the barriers to PhD application among underrepresented groups, trying to really cut across different departments at the school and create some cohorting. This involved a very high touch approach. Our program manager, Evan Curris, was really actively involved, but many faculty and students participated as well, with the goal of getting to know each applicant, understanding their needs and aspirations, and helping to support them to work their way through the doctoral admission process. And while we're still working through our applications to join BU Urban, as Evan mentioned earlier, we expect to welcome both our largest and most diverse cohort of urban trainees this fall. We also created a new category of Broadening Participation Awards, really to support our trainees to do science outreach, in particular to underrepresented groups, and to get trained in inclusive science communication. Next slide. Another one of our workshops this year that we think was particularly effective for training and central to our thematic focus is really on urban governance. And so in partnership with Catherine Lusk, one of the directors of BU's Initiative on Cities, our students really took a multi-step approach to understand how they can best interface with city government. So first, trainees viewed the former Boston Mayor Marty Walsh's State of the City address, and then observed a civic meeting on a topic that was related to their research. Next slide. So you can see just a few examples here of some of the civic meetings that our trainees participated in, both in Boston and in some surrounding communities. Next slide. We then facilitated some individual conversations between trainees and a variety of different stakeholders, really for bidirectional exchange of both knowledge and inspiration. Next slide. And we provided reflection prompts both before and after each of these steps to check in with students and figure out what they were garnering from the experiences. And this series really was a powerful way for the students to grow their professional networks, but also just broadly giving them a better sense of what it's like to be a graduate student in the modern times, not to have an ivory tower experience, but really to be engaged in local communities, plugged into local civic conversations, and really working alongside and talking with those who are dealing with urban environmental struggles and challenges day in and day out. Next slide. We also provided an array of student support. This is something we've done throughout, but we really tried to amplify efforts during the pandemic as students work through their Learn From Anywhere model. We really want to make sure our students are thriving in the program and really make adjustments to the program based on their feedback, as well as feedback from external evaluators. So we had a number of formal structures, including group check-in structures and other routine meetings. We also pulled together a number of informal events, like our great BU Urban Bake Off event that we held during winter break, to really provide a social outlet and a opportunity to connect, especially for students who are not able to follow their normal winter break activities. You can see some fantastic and beautiful products from the Great BU Bake Off. The one that mine and my young sons created was on the left, maybe not as aesthetically pleasing, but equally delicious, and it does spell out the words BU Urban. And really thanks to all the students who volunteered for the social committee, our internal advisory board, and really everyone else who wanted to support the students throughout the program, and especially during this really challenging past year. Next slide. So finally, just want to broaden out to emphasize kind of some of the university-wide efforts to prepare our students for diverse career paths. We work really closely with all the affiliated departments on recruitment efforts, as well as to engage in other activities. For example, in April, we partnered with the Biogeoscience program and others to host a workshop about diversifying seminar series. This was led by the organizers of the Innovative Bridge program out of UMass Amherst. Earlier in the winter, in the run-up to the admissions season, we partnered with the Professional Development and Postdoc Affairs Office at BU and Envision to develop a video series called Things I Wish I Knew. This was built on some really interesting essays and commentaries that a PhD student in environmental health launched, really trying to reach out to first-gen URM and other underrepresented groups that may not be as familiar with the steps in academia. And so this led to a series of videos with a diverse group of graduate students talking about topics ranging from how you apply to PhD programs to how you build strong mentor relationships and everything in between. So hopefully this gives you a sense of how Urban is not only changing the lives of our students, but really trying to transform graduate education across BU.